The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Bermuda's Feel Good Early Morning Show. Good day, Bermuda, supported by Pete's House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert, and we want to thank you for getting up bright and early with us on this Wednesday morning. Jack, how are you feeling? How was your evening? Are you excited for today's show?
I am excited for today's show. It's one of the topics I seem to talk about a lot. No, last night was interesting. It was a whole hurricane, so I didn't do much. Who knew it was going to be a hurricane? I'm still waiting for the tweets where somebody's just like, I lost power. But I think
I saw one. Through.
You did?
I saw a tweet. I want to say Haley, said DJ Haley Hales, I believe is his Twitter name. Okay. I forgot Haley's first name because I only call him Haley. But I saw a tweet from him like an hour, so maybe like 8 o'clock. 8 or 9, it looked like, because I can't remember the exact time I saw the tweet, but it was like an hour ago. So, I want to say it was around 8 or 9. But it's still hurricane season. Like, I feel like people forget that hurricane season is till the end of November. So technically we're still in the season for hurricanes. So albeit not likely, it's still possible. So if you do lose power, make sure if you haven't already called 955 to let them know that is the number to call Belco to report an outage. Even if you assume that someone else in your neighborhood may have done so, you never know. Everyone else might be assuming that the outage has been reported and it actually has not been. So just a little pro tip for you out there. As you can see, Jack and I are ready to bring you some feel good vibes this morning. If you have already, go ahead and share today's episode. If you're watching on Facebook, go ahead and make a post on your feed. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and drop the link in your favorite WhatsApp group chat. And to all of our tweets over there on Twitter, make sure you retweet it. Today is our last live show of the week. Tomorrow and Friday, you will be able to catch some replays. If you haven't had a chance to catch any of our previous shows this week, we will have those replayed for you on Thursday and Friday. Now, today we're going to be talking about a woman's right to choose whether she wants to become pregnant or not. As Jackie mentioned, it's something that she does talk about a lot. So I'm definitely excited to hear what she has to say on it. And if you want to laugh, though, to get your morning started, make sure you stick around for our Feel Good Vibe of the day, which is joke time with Jackie. Now, we're going to get started with our Feel Good warm-up. Now, Jackie and I finally jumped into this social media trend to find out what our names mean in Urban Dictionary. And Jack, do you want to give people, like, I guess, 2 or 3 things about what your name means that you think was pretty interesting or was on point?
Yes, they told me that I can make fun out of any situation. And what was the other one? I'm unable to keep still and keep quiet, and I'm always got a joke to tell. Yep. And that apparently I'm spot on with the type of man I like, which is tall, handsome, funny, athletic, with great calves and a great sense of humor. So I was just like, oh, that's spot on. So if you guys know anybody, I just want to go get food with somebody that's other than female like Terri.
Not that she doesn't like me, guys. Her saying she didn't like me.
No, like, Terri doesn't show up to our dates on time. That's shade.
That was shade. Really shade because I have a job. But nonetheless, we'll let that go. Like, I didn't just hop around with her on Friday, but whatever.
Just joking. No, what was yours? Because I enjoyed mine. I had 2 different ones, but they were both spot on. One was a little shorter though.
Mine says pretty spot on as well. Intelligent. Duh. What I also share was that, I like to pull back into myself because I do give out a lot of positive energy. I feel like that is probably accurate for the food and healthy lifestyle because I do that when it comes to like self-care. I'm still working on it. The last part of it was really, really interesting. It said, if you get the chance to meet a Teresa, make sure you don't let her go because you only get one shot. Like, you can only shoot one shot, and it's actually quite accurate. I have been not known to give a second chance. So if you get a chance and it don't work out for you, chalk it up to the game.
I would think about second chances. Like, I give second chances, but I just give different levels of second chances. Like, I'll be all in, and then you mess up, and I'm like, I'm taking 25% away. I'll take another 40, and then I'm just like, yep, toodles.
So if you haven't already done it, make sure you head over to urbandictionary.com, type your name in the actual way that you spell your name, because I was actually concerned because my name isn't spelled the typical way for Teresa, and it also said that my name was unique because it's spelled differently. But I thought that was really interesting that they were able to find my name and that they were able to get pretty much everything accurate about me. So if you haven't done that, make sure you go ahead and do that. Now, speaking of the outages, Janae said, I thought for sure the lights were going to go out. I charged up everything and downloaded Netflix shows. LOL. I feel like, honestly, with any gust of wind, that should be like the go-to preparation. Like,
yeah, I don't. Most times I'm like, oh, let me charge my phone, and then I'm like, I'll just go sit in the car and charge it. Worst comes to worst.
What if the car battery is low? What, man?
What? You start the car.
But like, yeah, but that drains your battery.
It charges as it goes.
Not your phone battery, the car battery, man.
I know it's I would go for a drive if need be if it starts to act up, but for the most part, I can sit there and charge it. It's not like I'm gonna sit there for 2 hours.
I guess.
At some point, I'm going to sleep.
Cheerio. Good day to you, Anika. Now, actually, that was not our full warm-up for today. We actually wanted to bring this up because Summer Walker has been doing a little bit of things on social media. And so she has a new boyfriend, I guess. And they decided to show their love for each other by getting tattoos. And, if you want to get a tattoo of your significant other's name, that's great. But they got face tattoos to show their love for each other. And so we wanted to ask y'all this morning, would you get a tattoo of your significant other's name on any part of your body? Now, we're not going to say the face because I feel like the face is definitely I don't like face tattoos, so I would never do a face tattoo. But I feel like people would get a significant other's name on another part of their body. So let us know in the comments, would you do that? Jackie and I definitely have some thoughts to share on this, but I want to come back to the comments. Anika DeShield says, or you get blown away trying to get in the car.
Yeah, it's not that far to my car. Luckily, it's not that far. We have good cover, so I should be straight. So
yesterday, I got blown. Well, almost got blown away a few times on my way to work. So I would definitely be the person like trying to like put on a bunch of clothes or something to like wave it on. That's just me.
Okay.
Exactly. And then, so according to Jason, the phone will not kill the car battery. Okay. When your battery is on like low, and you try to charge your phone and something happens, don't come crying to me, you guys. I'm sending you right over to the mechanic and he could be like, I told you so.
We keep extra batteries sometimes, so I'm sure we could just change it out. If it ever gets that bad, it's not. I do it all the time and it's not an issue. Okay. But anyway, back to Summer Walker and her boo Larry. There is no way. I mean, I don't even have any tattoos. So there's that. I would get tattoos, but I don't have any. And if the only way I'll get a man's name tattooed on my body is my father's.
Right. And so this comment from Anika DeShield, she says she would only consider a name tattoo if he is my husband, but people get divorced, then what? And what's really interesting is like they're just in a relationship. Like I don't even think they're have talked about marriage, fiance, all that type of stuff, because it seems like a fairly new relationship to me. I don't also follow Summer Walker, so I really couldn't say if they've been together for a while.
I feel like this is the guy
But-
that she was going back and forth with on
Okay.
social media, and everybody was they were they were beefing or whatever, and now they're back together. I could be wrong, but that's what I was trying to follow on the Shade Room. And
Yeah.
I mean, like, I get why they'd get each other's tattoos, names on them, like names tattooed on, because they have tattoos all over their body. So it's like an art to them, and it's experience. It's like a journal. But
I mean, okay, so
it's the placement. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, he has summer. He could easily put summertime, like summertime, like, that. But what is she gonna do with Larry?
nothing. She's doing nothing with Larry tattooed on her face, and the location of the tattoo on her face is odd. It's not even like in a fairly decent place. So I want to come to the comments because Janae says, not name. She would definitely not a face tattoo, but maybe like a symbol or something to represent, so no one else knows what the meaning is.
I can do that. Like, I can do like a bird or a key or whatever, because at some point you meant something to me. But I don't mind doing matching tattoos when it's like symbols and stuff like that. I'm not putting his name on me. I'm not. I still belong to me at the end of the day. So I just.
Absolutely. And so Jason Shirley goes on to say he would only consider his child's name or his four-legged child. So I'm assuming that's your dog. Because I feel like people wouldn't get the cat's name. But that's what I'm like, maybe you get your cat or turtle. There's a lot of four-legged creatures that you could possibly be talking about, Jason. But I feel like he's talking about dog. Definitely feel like he's talking about the dog. Yeah. But he also would not get on his face. Like, I feel like the face tattoo, I really think face tattoos are ugly. Like, I actually do love seeing tattoos. They look very great on some people, and some of the ideas that people come up with for their tattoos are awesome. But I just think face tattoos for me are like, and sometimes neck tattoos, it just depends. But I feel like this region of the body, a tattoo is just a lot for me to take in. It's a lot for me to process.
There are some face tattoos where I'm just like, ooh, it works for you. I don't know.
I am not
Maybe,
that girl.
Like, I wouldn't date you, but I'm like, ooh, I'd look at you.
It's a work of art. You are now a piece of art. With that tattoo on your face. So, Anika, this year's Jack.
I think I saw something that they have been together since 2014, but I don't even know who these people are for real. Yeah, see.
But even for 2014,
like, you just, if that's the case, if what I was reading about them being off and on, maybe it was just a publicity stunt for her new album X, Y, and Z, which apparently she isn't. I haven't like fully listened to it. I think like one or two songs, but she doesn't speak the best about men. I'm not sure if it's directed to him or whatnot, but it's a no.
And the girlies are really excited for that album. They are definitely, talking about how they have like so many quotables from the lyrics. And it just, for me, seems like, so there was not a song about like,
because according to Sad Girl Winter,
committing to someone before they've actually committed to you by way of a tattoo. And now you have to like give your child the nickname Larry or something. Like now you have to come up with a reason why Larry makes sense on your face if you and Larry don't stay together. I don't know. I just don't know.
Maybe she can make it like a graffiti looking thing, and she could change it to like Lost Soul. I don't know. Sorry.
I was even trying to visualize it. I'm like, Lost, like she's just gonna have to get a tattoo removal. Like at that point, she's just gonna have to get a laser removed. And so this comment from Karen Simmons. She says, "Morning, ladies. No, I would not get the name of my husband on my body. I have our anniversary date on my inner lower arm." Now, see, something like that, I could vibe with. I could absolutely vibe with. But it's just
the name. It's just the name. I think Janae said it. I don't mind doing the little symbols.
Symbol, yeah. And then Janika says, "Can't get it removed or covered up." I just feel like on the face,
it's just only so much space, and I think we're gonna post the picture or repost it so you guys understand how big Larry is.
And it's on like the side of her face where like at least he is like right here or it's somewhere where like
there's the same spot. It's like around the eyebrow.
Oh, but
maybe got it around the eyebrow. Or maybe she got her. Yeah.
He can do a lot with Summer. She can do very little with Larry. And so I didn't answer the question. So for those of you that are wondering, I would not get my significant other's name tattooed on me at all. Like I honestly wouldn't even get my own name, anyone else's. I wouldn't get anyone's name tattooed on me. I would do something that means something to me and that person, or that helps me to think of that person when I see a tattoo, because I just do not I like what Beyonce and Jay-Z did with the 4, because they both were born on the 4th day. So something like that, I could vibe with, but I'm not putting your name on me. It's not happening. Never know how. I like you, but maybe not that. I don't like you that much. I don't.
I even think about people that get married and they get the tattoo rings or their anniversary date. And I actually have a friend friends where they got divorced, and they're like, so what do we do now? Because it's still there, but we're not together. And at least one of them wants to still pursue a relationship and potentially get married again. And I'm like, you better choose that same day. I don't think the year was actually put. I think it was just the month. I could be wrong. I can't remember. Gotcha. Maybe it's like a crown. I don't know. Either way, I think we gotta be strategic if we're not super tattoo people.
That right. I agree. If you're
they're expensive too. So getting them on and then having to get them removed and then covered up.
Listen,
I'm not judging this.
No shade. Definitely do what it is that makes you and your partner feel happy. However, just looking at the two of them and how, like Jackie said, it was presented like a publicity stunt. So it could just be these could be fake tattoos for all we know.
I don't think they're fake.
I don't either. Just trying to give them a blind. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and then Jackie and I will be back with our feel good topic of the day. It's a good one. We don't want you to go anywhere. Jackie and I will be right back.
Looking for that fine dining experience? Then Aliana's is the place for you. And it's lobster season in Bermuda. So ladies, get your girls together for a ladies' night out. Book a table of 4 and each of you will get a 10% discount on your half or whole lobster main course. Starters not included. This lobster special is on until Saturday, December 18th. Serving dinner from 6 p.m. Thursday through Sundays. And of course, we have all your favorites, complemented with our specialty drinks and wine list, followed by our scrumptious homemade desserts. Aliana's Fine Dining Restaurant, 106 Southside St. David's. Phone 777-0555 for reservations. For their special occasions, there's Aliana's.
Welcome back to Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert. If you're just joining us, we just wrapped up our Feel Good warm-up. We talked about tattoos and whether we would get our significant other or anyone's name tattooed on our body. And so, Jack, speaking of the hand tattoos, Janika said they actually fade away. So your friend might be good.
Oh, so good. Maybe I'll get my own little hand tattoo.
Oh, Lord. Here she is.
I do want tattoos. I don't know. I'm impulsive, and then I'm reverse impulsive.
You want something, then you're like, you know what?
This is taking too long. Never mind. If I go, I've actually been like, let's go get tattoos, and people just like, okay, give me 20 minutes, and then the feeling goes away. You gotta catch me then.
You gotta catch me when I say it.
Yep.
We're going to transition now to our feel good topic of the day. Now, we're discussing a woman's right to choose whether she wants to become pregnant or not. So, in the news recently, maybe a couple days ago, I'm trying to go back to a couple days ago. Yes, November 20th.
Just say the other day, like every Bermudian, which means anywhere between the day we were born to today.
Correct. So just the other day, an article went up on New York Post where a mom of 11 is receiving backlash for not using contraception. Now, she has 11 children with her husband, and they actually have number 12 on the way in March. And she has over 20,000 followers on social media. And apparently she's been getting trolled by some folks who think that is not okay, or they are encouraging her to use contraception, etc., etc. So today we just wanted to ask, do you think that women should have the right to choose when to get pregnant? It's really interesting to me that people on social media that don't necessarily know people have a lot to say about what they do with their body. 11 seems like a lot for me personally. I don't think I want 11 children of my own. However, if it works for this mother and her husband, go for it. Like, Jack, what do you think? Because I do know that this is a topic that you're very passionate about. So I want to hear from your perspective. Do you think it's okay for her to have 11 kids and the right to choose if she wants to have 11 kids or not?
Well, you remember the show, I think it was called 19 and Counting. These people are actually able to take care of the kids, facilitate everything that these children needed, and they all had a decent lifestyle. I'm trying to remember how long ago that show was. I want to say
that was like the 2000s.
Yeah, it was absolutely the 2000s, early 2000s. But 11 is excessive to me. I mean, I wanted 6 kids. So who am I to say 11's a lot? If you can be financially stable enough for these kids so that they can have a decent lifestyle, absolutely. If you're emotionally stable enough to make sure that these children know that they are loved, supported, and they can actually get the affection that is needed for them to as well be mentally stable, then absolutely go for it. I don't understand why people that aren't helping finance these people's lives have so much to say. No, if it was a case where I know there are cases where people just keep having kids and the state is paying for it, that's where it starts to get tricky, because you don't even have your kids. Why are you still pushing out kids? Like, at some point you need to be less selfish and think about the child versus yourself. I think that makes sense to everybody else.
It does.
Because I don't want to come across where it's like, drill sergeant, you don't take care of your kids, you can't have kids. I'm talking about the fact that everybody else is now sacrificing, where the state is now taking taxpayers' money to pay for your kids. At that point, if my taxpayers' money is paying for your child and your lifestyle, I absolutely have a right to tell you to cut it out. Like, cut it off. Why you have another one when you don't have the first that you have? Like, that's starting to be selfish for the child. Not even for me. I'm talking about for the child's well-being. So they're not growing up in a loving family home. Sometimes the situation is they don't even know who the dad is, and I think that's just where it starts to get out of hand. Now, if you have your husband,
all right. Put on one. I want to bring in some audience comments, because I'm like, Jack is running with this. I'm like, let's get the audience involved. Let's get the audience involved. So Janae says, of course, they should have the right, their body, their life. And so just before we kind of bring other comments into it, like the idea of contraception being a choice, like not for everyone is that an option. Like, not everyone has the option to even get contraception, let alone make the decision on whether they want to get pregnant or not. So I thought it was interesting that people were telling her to use contraception as if, I'm assuming she has a choice, because if she chose not,
it depends on her religion as well. I don't know the article, because if you are Catholic, it is against your religion to use contraception and to when I say contraception, I mean like use condoms and use birth control. So that's out of the question. And if she's fertile in their situation, they are so I shouldn't say wrapped up. They are so deep in their faith that they believe that God will always be there to make sure that they can take, care of the kids. If God gives it, God will supply it.
So for a bit of context, since you brought it up, I did want to mention that her husband is a pastor, and when they were married, she was a virgin when they became married. This is back in 2008. And so I think their oldest child is 11 and their youngest is almost 1. And like we mentioned, they have baby number 12 on the way. So the article doesn't go into say what their specific religion is per se. However, to me, it just feels like there is now going to be 2 parts of the conversation, right? Like you mentioned, the religious part of it, but then also she's a woman. She can choose what she wants to do. So I just want to bring in this coming from Anika Shields, Jack.
Mind your business. She is married, and if they can afford to take care of their children and they are healthy and happy, then yep, I agree.
I definitely, and I think you raised the point too around the ability to care for the children, because that is very important. I think when a woman is making a decision on whether she wants to be pregnant or not, it's like, can I take care of, the child with my significant other or by myself, if we're co-parenting, whatever the case may be. Like, a lot of those questions run through women's heads, on top of the fact that society has something to say. My friends might have something to say. My parents might have something to say. Is this the type of family unit that I wanted to create in this type of manner? Like a lot of those questions come into it. So I just think that there's additional pressure already. You telling someone to use contraception.
The only way I could see this being an issue is if she is actually in a controlling relationship and nobody knows it, and she's secretly telling somebody like, help me, I don't want any more kids and there's nothing I could do about it. Then we need to help her. But if she's like, nope, I want to go for 15 or 20 because I have so much love to give and I just can't get enough of my babies and I just want to keep going, and she's able to do it, I don't see what the issue is.
I don't either. And so also according to the article, not only is the husband a pastor, but he does have multiple jobs. Because listen, America
he has to.
But the more you have start having more than 10, honestly, more than 4 mouths to feed, you're at a point where we need to definitely bring in the money. Like we definitely need to bring in additional income, sir.
I'm actually curious as to how their lifestyle goes because, I mean, not to be this person, but children are great at gardening. They love breaking up your garden and pulling weeds and these. So you just have to teach them how to nurture the earth and it will give back to them the same way. So they can easily afford to take care of the kids if they have enough of a plot or enough land to live off of the land, have cows and goats and chickens. It's very doable. Very doable. And if you have a stream anywhere nearby, catch a little fishy fish and throw it on the grill. You're straight.
They didn't go into too much detail around their actual personal life. They definitely just focused on the fact that they have 11 children, and they're about to have 12 anyway. However, I like that idea. I definitely like that idea. I want to come back to some more comments. So Jason Shirley says 12, their choice, but comes down to how they're going to afford that. But deeper convo is abusing the system and being supported by government and taxpayers. I definitely, when Jackie brought that up, I definitely had that thought too, because I do feel like there is definitely this part of having children just for the sake of having children so that someone else can help you take care of it is problematic.
So you can live off of because some people have kids and they know that they'll have a certain amount of money that comes in so that they can live off of it. And you find out from the teachers and the parents that the kids aren't even getting this money. The kids are still coming to school with the wrong size clothes, shoes don't fit, don't have books, don't have bags. They're asking for assistance, but Bermuda's already the country's already helping you. So where's the money going? And you find out that the mom's getting her hair done, her nails done, and that's where it becomes a problem to me. That's where the situation changes and my tone changes with you. Because at first I'm like, oh my god, it's amazing, and then it's just like, hold on, you're not even taking care of the child that nope, next.
Like your whole tone changed. This is a fictional conversation. Like, we don't even have a person.
It's fictional to you, but it is absolutely real. It's so real. I know so many stories. So yes, I talk about this often.
Jackie clearly has stuck in this, guys. She's definitely stuck in this. So I want to bring this comment. She said, I mean, God intended for us to reproduce. And, I feel like that's probably one of their arguments. This couple is, like I mentioned, the husband is a pastor. And she actually said they've never tried to not get pregnant. It's like they've never done anything to not get pregnant. I just think they are being fruitful and multiplying because not even trying to check your cycle, like not even trying to like make sure you did it on days where live your best life.
She probably breathes and she's just like, so darling.
Yep.
Surprise. Oh, that's horrible, but amazing at the same time.
It's beautiful. Karen Simmons says, yes, have the right to choose when they have a child or children, providing for their needs, unconditional love, emotional and psychological support, shelter, food, financial education, and health. I definitely think that what I find interesting, just thinking about like sex education when we were in school versus like what it actually is, I don't think there's a bit of a disconnect between what actually happens when you become pregnant and have a child versus like just the act of sex. I feel like it's so focused on not having sex before marriage if you're religious or just try not to get pregnant. and that's it. But I don't think that the conversation gets any deeper as to what you have to do as a parent if you do get pregnant. It's kind of just like one of those things where it's like it's dirty to be pregnant, but what's dirty about it?
I have a question. This is in the States?
Yeah, so this is in New Mexico.
I wonder what the laws are, because I know in Alabama you can't get an abortion. And then I know in some states you can't get an abortion without, I'm just talking about, if by chance, because, religiously they probably can anyway. But like in Bermuda, if you're married, you can't have an abortion without going through certain procedures anyway, which makes it tough.
I don't think you have to be married.
So,
period.
No, I'm saying, but in order for you to have an abortion when you're married, your husband has to sign off on it still in Bermuda.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So, but because they're married, I was just putting that together.
Yes, I got you. You were giving it context. I appreciate that. I was like, wait, isn't that all? Abortions in Bermuda? Like, don't you have to go through a process? But I get where you're doing.
I was just comparing. I was just like, I wonder what their state laws are in New Mexico, which I will be investigating.
I think, well, the U.S. has 50 different versions of probably the exact same type of law, because every state can have its own laws, and then obviously the federal law. But I don't think in the U.S. I haven't seen. No, there actually is the federal. There is the Roe v. Wade, which is actually supposed to protect women's rights when it comes to reproduction, but that has since come into a lot of, I don't know, controversy, because people are challenging it, saying that there's reasons why, they're changing the time frame of when a woman can actually get an abortion. It's outlawed in some states, so women are having to go over state lines to get it done legally. And then there's also the issue of getting illegal abortions and then possibly harming your reproductive system because you do not want to have this child, or you did not want to get pregnant, and you find yourself in a state where it's against the law, which I think is wild. I think it's really wild that has come to be in this times, but I don't know. And I think Bermuda's laws are really old, like when it comes to the whole process around if you make the decision to not have a child and you have to go through so many hoops. What was that for?
Well, because I was going to say a lot of the laws are made by men, and a lot of the our stuff are made by men, and they still like to try to control us. So I don't want to start the argument.
Start it. I mean, we got time, sis. We got time. We got a few minutes to talk about it. We might not dive deep. But it's early morning, so we just got to get the people thinking, and then they're sliding our DMs on Instagram, and they'll want to have a conversation even more. So go for it.
Well, it's a religious island for one, and then on top of that, a lot of our laws are made by man for the man to be able to still have the controlling vote at the end of the day. So like I said, if you're married, your husband still has to sign over the fact that he agrees to you having an abortion. When you give birth, the person that fills out the information and the form is the father. Whether the father's in the picture or not, it still always lies in the power of the man. So are we really surprised that men don't want to relinquish that power over women that they constantly want to have power over? The rules aren't going to change.
We're not.
Unless
they are going to change.
They are, but it's going to be a long time coming, and I do hope that it's during my living years and not my...
I agree.
Celestial time.
I absolutely agree. I actually want to bring this comment from Janae because it's really interesting what she says. She says, my two oldest kids are born in Canada. Based on your yearly salary, Canada gives a child tax benefit monthly. We used to get like $5.35 per child each month to help care for them. I think that's really interesting because it doesn't seem like it's you applying for something like, how in like the US, there's like, you have to apply for welfare and you have to apply for financial assistance. I think it's pretty proactive, it seems, of Canada to like say, okay, you are helping to populate our nation. Here is some funds to make that a little bit easier on you. And I think that's great, actually.
I do too, because I remember being like, oh, if I have kids, I want to have them in the States. That way they can get, a better education. It's less hassle, blah, 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 blah. Because back in the day, I'm not sure how it is now, as an international player, if I won a money tournament, I can't accept the money because it'll make me ineligible for a tennis scholarship. If I was American, I was able to accept the money. So in my head, I was just like, oh, well, if my child wants to be a pro player, I want them to be able to do both. Then I had some friends that were, born in Canada. They got discounts or money off for their education. Sometimes the part of their education was actually free. They got kickbacks, X, Y, and Z. And Canada just seems like a more friendly place in some parts of Canada for people of color. And I was just like, that's looking a little more interesting because I wanted my children to have 2 passports. I don't know why, but I just wanted them to have that dual citizenship.
They can still have 2 passports if we still stay connected to the UK. But if we don't, no, sis. No.
It's not looking likely. I don't know. I go back and forth because when Brexit happened, I was just like,
and no.
What does that mean for us? And then, slowly
but surely. Is Brexit even a thing? That's a whole other topic for another day.
It's still like
in process, like
that.
Okay, I
limbo factor.
I want to bring in this comment from Jason Shirley. He says abortion laws in the U.S. across the board is nonsense. Should be the mother's choice. I want to say something, but I'm voting.
I know we are being progressive. Well, I shouldn't say we because I'm not American. I know America at one point was being progressive. You had a lot of females that were getting in there and trying to fight and change the laws. And then we had then the recent situation, I know that they were changing it so that even if you were raped, the person that raped you would have to sign off on the fact that you had an abortion.
Wildest thing ever.
So you can go to jail for getting an abortion without their permission. So you got beat down twice. Women just ain't got no rights. I think it's disgusting.
And that's why we're talking about it. We're definitely talking about it too. I think when we say normalize the conversation, it's definitely just to make some of these uncomfortable conversations more comfortable because it definitely needs to be talked about because at that point, the fact that you're giving power to the person who committed a crime against someone is in and of itself problematic. Like that is problematic in and of itself. But, that's definitely.
But when you have a president that says stuff like grab her by the cat.
We know that guy. We definitely won't be talking about that guy on this show for too much longer. I want to bring in this comment about the Canadian tax benefits. So Janae says, once you pay your taxes, you're eligible to receive. I think that's really dope. That would encourage more people to pay their taxes.
Especially because I wanted to have like a cute little cabin or like semi-retirement home. I don't think I'll ever stop teaching, but I want somewhere I could just be like, vacation.
Okay, well, we know Jackie's going to try to vacation in Canada, but it's cold up there, so she can have that.
Well, I'm not going to leave the cabin. I'm going to be like, oh, that looks so pretty out there.
Got you. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with our feel-good vibe of the day, which is joke time with Jackie. So if this conversation was a little bit heavier for you than you may have thought or wanted this morning, don't worry, because Jackie's got some corny jokes for you to laugh at.
Same smooth sounds, different name. BCG Radio, home of Bermuda's most engaging morning talk shows, The Daily Hour and Good Day Bermuda. Download the app available for Android and Apple devices. BCG Radio, your station for conversations and entertainment.
Welcome back to Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert. If you're just joining us, we are getting ready for our feel good vibe of the day. It's when Jackie tells us the corniest joke she can, and I do my best to try to guess the answer or just have a good giggle. So if this is the first time you're watching or tuning into our show, all you have to do is react to Jackie's jokes by dropping your favorite laughing emoji. Over to you, Jack. I am ready to laugh this morning.
Now, these jokes are for those that celebrate Thanksgiving. I kind of do, because, food. Thank you, exactly. What did the turkey say to the turkey hunter on Thanksgiving Day?
I don't know.
Quack, quack.
Wait, what? It's a turkey.
Exactly. It's trying to trick the hunter. Come on, man.
I get it, but I'm like, what? Okay.
Why did the farmer have to separate the chicken from the turkey?
What? The farmer had to separate the chicken from the turkey. I don't know.
He sensed foul play. Okay.
These are the corniest today.
This is actually the corniest one. That's why I saved it for last.
Here we go.
What key has legs and can open a door? You gotta get this.
What key has legs and can open a door? I don't know.
A turkey. Oh my god, don't unfriend me ever.
I can't unfriend you because the jokes are like the best. So Janae said monkey, but then Cheryl's got it right. He said turkey, and then everyone else came in after the fact and got turkey as well. Shout out to all of y'all that got the turkey joke. I was definitely just here like, I don't know. But on that note, as always, we have today's Feel Good Vibe of the Day has you ready to make it a great one. Thank you so much for watching and engaging with this episode of Good Day Bermuda, supported by Pizza House and Aliana's Restaurant. I'm Terri Tuku alongside Jackie Lambert. We trust we'll see you next week. As a reminder, there will be no live show tomorrow, Thursday, November 25th, nor Friday, November 26th. So make sure you catch up on some replays. We will be showing some replays tomorrow morning and Friday morning as well. But come back next week, Monday, for more Feel Good Conversations live with Jackie and I. Until next episode, peace and have a good day, Bermuda.